Pandanga ndichitsanangura kuti zvatiri kuita kuti title deed ribude pane mari dzinoda kubhadhara kuti rigozobuda. Idzodzo ndo dziri kunzi nemukuru wenyika vabereki vane dzimba idzodzi dzavagara kwenguva refu havabhadhare, hurumende ichabhadhara kuti title deeds ribude. Haringonyorwa rotanga rabuda, kune zvinoda kuitwa, masurvey anoda kuitwa, kune maplani anoda kuitwa, kune vanhu vachafamba vachiverify identity yemunhu, which is very important. Kuti panofanira kutoitwa physically inspect kuti ndiye here munhu wachona, nekuti title deeds rinokupa masimba over any other person kana wanaro, saka harifanirwi kuenda to a wrong person. Saka maprocess ese iwayo anoda mari, even mastamp duty. Saka ndo zviri kunzi ngatiitei kuti vanhu vedu vave neugaro hwekuti azive kuti chero akashayika mhuri yake inoitawo process yekuti vatore pavari kugara vachiziva kuti ndepavo. Tinotenda kubato wechigaro.
Thank you. Honorable Nduna. I've recognized Honorable Nduna. You'll be the last one.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would want to know from the Honorable Minister the issue of timelines. The houses in question belong to the old aged, and what is happening is the councillors and council officials are busy taking over these houses from those that would have passed on, at the detriment and much to the chagrin of the families of our dearly departed. How much time do we expect that this exercise will be completed so that our people can and must not be unfairly disenfranchised after the demise of their dearly departed old aged owners of the houses?
Honorable Minister, timelines. Sit down, please. Don't make noise when you've asked a good question. Please switch off the mic. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the Honorable Member. Honorable Speaker, at this juncture, I'm extremely hesitant to give timelines. It's an exercise that we are learning every day. Initially, we thought we could do it extremely fast, but we realized that we need to follow all the processes. And it's an exercise that we are starting to do now. It has never been done. So I believe that after the pilot in Epworth, we'll be able now to say we can do Caledonia within a month or within 3 weeks. But as of now, I am cautious to give timelines. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Morai. Honorable Morai.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Where is your gadget? Your gadget? Your gadget?
Can you
assist with the gadget, please?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My supplementary question to the Honorable Minister is that I want to know what factors do you consider when giving these title deeds? Do you have any factors to consider for you to give a title deed to a house or to a person? What factors would you consider? Thank you.
Do you want really factors or criteria?
The factors or criteria to say, because of late, Mr. Speaker.
Now we've got the question.
Okay.
We've got the question. Please switch off the Honorable Minister. The criteria.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir. Mr. Speaker, the initial criteria is in every local authority area, the local authority is aware of people who are staying in houses but they do not have title deeds. So the first port of call is to ensure that they visit the said local authority and get from their database names of those that occupy houses in that particular locality. And then there are visits to verify if indeed those people are the bona fide owners of those places. And once all that has been done, we then go a step further to start processing the papers so that the necessary deed can come out. I thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, ma'am. Madam Speaker, I was hoping that the honorable member, being a legislator from Mashonaland and West, he followed attentively proceedings at State House on Friday, where the Mine to Energy Park agreement was signed. That will incense, it speaks to what he is saying. So that is work in progress. On Friday, an agreement was signed so that within the Mapinga area would be doing exactly that.
Honorable Minister, please may you be connected.
Oh. Thank you. Thank
Honorable
you.
Bashiri, please listen.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. I earlier on said that I was hoping that the honorable member, being a legislator from Mashonaland West, he would have followed attentively proceedings last Friday when the Mine to Energy Park agreement was signed, which essentially speaks to what he is asking about. That particular area in Mashonaland West, Mapinga area, will be mining and beneficiating, and they will be set up a plant exactly the way he's asking. So I would kindly refer him to the text of that speech and the proceedings if he was not aware that something like that is happening within his backyard. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. New question, Honorable Beatty.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, ma'am. Madam Speaker, my question is directed to the leader of the House, Minister Ziambi, the Minister of Justice. Minister, I was very pleased with the indications and the government actions that are being taken towards the provision of title deeds to urban dwellers. But 70% of our people actually live in communal lands, occupying about 19 million hectares of land. And despite the war of liberation that we fought, people in communal lands actually don't have land rights. Section 4 of the Communal Lands Act actually divests them from land. So as a person who comes from Lotito, I'm wondering, yes, it's okay to give title deeds to people in Mfakose and Glenview and Vengere. What about us in Murewa South, in Lotito, in Chendambuya, whose land was taken away by white people and dispossessed through the Land Apportionment Act of 1931, but up to now, 43 years after independence, we can't own our own land in our own rural areas. And you now have Chinese people, you now have the likes of Billy Rottenberg coming to take our land. Can you address the issue of our own land rights of us people who live in communal lands? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Leader of Government Business.
What happened to that? You want to come in? Okay. Thank Madam Speaker, ma'am, for the question that Honorable BT has asked. My response is that there is a difference between the processes that we are doing to issue title deeds to urban dwellers and the land tenure system within agricultural and communal areas. We are issuing title deeds in urban areas because that is exactly what is supposed to have been there within the confines of the laws currently. So that exercise is being done to satisfy what should have been done. So there is a separation between that and the issue of title deeds or the land tenure system within communal areas and where we have rural land for agriculture. Now coming to the issue of title deeds within communal areas and other land, designated land tenure systems, that's a conversation that as Zimbabweans we can start. But currently communal land is vested in the president, is for the people and should not be sold. Equally, agricultural land, we have a tenure system that we obtains now of offer letters, of 99-year leases. That is what is obtaining. But the honorable member is not precluded from starting a conversation to say, let's come up with a different land tenure system. And if a policy is adopted in that regard, then we can move in that direction. But the urban title deeds process, let's not mix it with historical issues that arose out of the land tenure system that was brought upon by the colonizers, I think.
Supplementary, Honorable Beatty.
Mubati wa chigaro, Madam Speaker, ma'am. Ndoda kubvunza supplementary yangu nerurimi rwamai. Ndichiti kuna minister, takarwa hondo, ende hondo yatakarwira iyi yanga iri yemunda. Zvino minister vari kuti kune munhu mutema, zvakanaka kuti munhu mutema aone imba kumfa kwose kana kubhorodho, asi achinyimwa kodzero yekuti anga achionawo musha wake paruzevha. Imo muruzevha macho kungave kwachenda mbuya kana kuti kucholocho kana kuti kudotito kana kuti kumuzarabani kwapinda vamwe vanhu vakuya kuzotorera minda vachiti minda haisi yenyu. So chandakumbira kuna minister kuti chipinzai nyaya iyi mudariro muchiexamina policy yacho kuti policy haina kunaka because takaenda kuhondo tikabika sadza tikaita ana chimbwido nana mujibha tichirwira nyika yedu, asi vekumadhorobha vanonzi onai minda, isu vekumaruwa tonzi aiwa. Kana sabhuku chaiyo haana right, kana ishe chaiye haana kodzero, asi ivhu ndo munhu. Saka minister, tipeiwo commitment yekuti muchaatenda kupolicy kuti isusu vanobva kumaruva tinge tichionawo even kuti hatinoda kutengesa asi kungonzi ndepangu pemadzinza angu pakavakwa pane marinda ana sekuru vangu. Izvozvo hazviko pari zvino pamutemo uripo. Ndiri kutendai mubate chigaro. Zikomo.
Honorable Minister.
Ndinotenda mubati wechigaro. Mubati wechigaro, kuhondo hakuna kuenderwa matitle deeds. Kwakaendera kuti tive varidzi venyika. Tadzoka tikatanga chirongwa chekuti vanga vatitorera minda titore tigarisane. Ivhu rekumaruwa kune madzishe ndere vana veZimbabwe. Chaakudiwa chavanogona kutanga ivo ndechekuti toda kuzvifananidza nevanhu vari mudhorobheni here vane matitle deeds iko kumamisha. Asi handifunge kuti ishoko rechokwadi rekuti kumaruzevha kuri kutorwa nemachina. Tiri mushishi rekugadzirisa mutemo wekudyidzana kwevarimi nevagari vemusha nevanochera kuti zvinge zvichifambirana zvakanaka. Iyi ndeimwe nyaya iri kugadzirudzwa yatinofungidzira kuti pachauya mutemo weMines and Minerals Act uchabatsira kunhadzurudza zvanga zvisina kumira zvakanaka maringe nenyaya iyoyo. Asi ivhu rekumaruwa kunogara vanhu haritengeswe, hakuna muchina kana murungu anotengeserwa. Zvanga zviripo ndezvekuti kune kodzero dzanga dzichipiwa vanhu vanouya vachitsvaga zvicherwa zviri pasi pevhu, zvatiri kuti hazvanga zvisinganyanyise kunge zvakarerekera kufadza muridzi anogarapo, zvichinyanyisa kuda kufadza uyo ari kuuya achipinda muvhu kunotora zvicherwa. Asi honorable member vane kodzerewo sekundibudzawo kwavaita kuti vatangewo nhaurwa yacho nayekuti toitawo land tenure yakamira sei munyika medu. Ndinotenda muchibato wechigaro.
Supplementary Honorable Nduna.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. Madam Speaker, ma'am, I want to know from the Honorable Minister, if it pleases the Honorable Minister, to attach Section 72, subsection 7C of the Constitution, which is the background of the issue of this land. The land which is agricultural is the one that has now been urbanized through the master plans for the urban expansion. So the urban land is now residing in the agricultural land. Fast forward, when you now bring the agricultural land into the urban society, Section 205, subsection 1C of the Urban Councils Act has 3 provisions that speak to selling the land, leasing the land, and also giving it for free. Section 152, subsection 1A of the same Urban Councils Act speaks to those 3 issues as well. Would it please the minister to align those provisions of the Acts of Parliament to the provision of the Constitution, which is sui generis, and in section 2 says it should be repudiated to the extent of inconsistency if it is inconsistent with the Constitution, so that the 10 hectares of land which is being given for free in the agricultural land can also be given with the title for free in the urban society. Would it please the minister that the 10 hectares, which is now 100,000 hectares, and if it is sold to the urbanites, costs $25 million, which all civil servants will not have? Would it please the minister to align those provisions of the Act of Parliament with the Constitution so that the people can at least have 200 square meters of land, agricultural land, which is titled deeds, which land is being given for free to the agricultural society? The urbanites are made to buy that land because we have not aligned the Urban Councils Act with the Constitution. My question, would it please the minister to give title to the agricultural land to the urbanites in the same way that we are giving title to those that are in the rural part? I say this and with conviction because I've also been incarcerated for misalignment.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, ma'am. I'm not quite sure that I understood what Honorable Nduna is trying to say.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, we have urban land that will be designated by the relevant minister as urban land. Then we have land, communal land, and we have agricultural land. The Minister of Lands and Agriculture is the one who transfers the land upon gazetting when it has been designated urban land. Once it's urban land, then it can be subdivided, and also there will be value addition because you need to do the necessary processes to ensure that people stay in that particular area. So let's differentiate land that has been converted for urban development to agricultural land and state land that is vested with the Minister of Lands and Agriculture. My position is we have a land tenure system within the communal land, within our agricultural sector that is existing. If we need a conversation of changing that, then as a people we can start that conversation. But currently we have a system that is there. And let's not confuse it either with our war of liberation or our incarceration or whatever. It's the system that is there now. I thank you, Honorable.